The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. People have claimed ownership and think that without them, nobody can exist. And they have forgotten that there is no one that is an island. We all depend on ourselves for survival. And when they finished, they told the African a very beautiful story, and that is education is the key to success. All that we are chasing after is a paper. As the African is told not to farm, they have encouraged their people to go into farming. And they are making a better life out of farming. Farmers are the richest people when you travel outside of the continent. And Africa is seeing farming to be a sort of punishment. The soya beans farmers in the United States of America are crying simply because of Trump's trade war. He was thinking that everybody will come kneeling, but that did not happen. It's rather affecting his people, and people are crying. People have been in farming for years because this has become a family business that they are leaving behind for their children. China isn't buying anymore. Africa isn't buying, and these people are in pain. Because he was thinking that when he does that, it's going to affect us that are also important things. But there is 0 pictures of soya beans in the United States of America, and the farmers are weeping. We have to understand that there is no man that is an island. We all depend on ourselves for survival. And this is also to us as Africans who have lost interest in farming because of what they sold to us. We need to understand that we can't have this beautiful land and will still be depending on other people for food. We are employees to other people. How much is the salary they give to us at the end of the day? And this will all end up in food.
I got to farm with my dad every day. It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be.
The impact of Trump's tariffs is being felt in the heartland.
Soybean farmers here are now suffering economically like they haven't in decades.
Right now we are harvesting soybeans in Marengo, Illinois. My family has been farming since 1846. I'm the 5th generation. We're a grain operation. We grow corn, soybeans. I am a product of the pioneers. It's history. You don't let that go. One of the best memories that I had was just my dad teaching me how to drive a tractor. I got to farm with my dad every day. It was pretty cool. How many people could do that? It's a way of life. It's a wonderful way of life. And it's at risk. And it shouldn't be. It's total bullshit. Human lives are at stake. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
I'm very proud of him. He's done a great job. He's kind. He's very caring. He cares about other people. I didn't really want him to be a farmer. When my husband got sick, he asked if he could take over the farm. He said, "Mom, give me 3 years. Just give me 3 years." So that's what we did, and it's turned into 16 years.
Harvest is usually the best time of the year. It's literally the fruits of your labor. This is the time where we as farmers get to celebrate all of our hard work and that we get paid for our year's worth of work. And unfortunately, this one has a real bitter taste to it because the money is being spent right now in Argentina and being given to billionaires. Farming's hard enough as it is, dealing with Mother Nature, but this year especially is very challenging because of the tariffs that have been put upon us. Our cost of production has increased and our markets have dropped dramatically. And this is really putting a major strain on all farmers right now. If anybody who's not a farmer and they say, well, what do I care about what's happening with farmers? What does that matter? Well, in Illinois, 20% of all jobs revolve around agriculture. And when farmers have money, we spend it, and we spend it on really big high-ticket items like combines or tractors, all of whom are made in major Rust Belt areas. And those are really high-paying, good jobs, and that trickles down to the waitresses who get better tips, to our schools because people have more income, the schools get better funded. And right now, we're just in a major holding pattern because we have no income. The American people are hurting right now. The farmers are hurting right now. There is absolutely no reason for this.
Our grain prices are down. We have tariffs. We have a bumper crop. We don't have people to sell it to. China hasn't bought one of our beans. We don't have those markets anymore because of the tariffs.
I'm looking at the commodity prices, where they're at, which is how I get paid. I'm having a real difficult time trying to give a positive outlook for 2026. When President Obama was in office, we had a wonderful jolt of energy because we had an administration that said, we're going to have advanced biofuels power our country. And then Trump got in there and decided to have his trade wars again and everything else, and to roll back all those environmental protections, and the ag economy started to tank. Joe Biden gets in there again. Hey, we're going to have advanced biofuels. We're going to have airline fuel that comes from corn-based ethanol. What happened? Prices went up again, up to an all-time high, right where they were. If Trump gets back in there again, we're going to have a trade war, and boom, prices are tanking again.
President Trump is said to be considering a bailout of at least $10 billion for farmers. That may be too little too late.
We don't want a bailout. We want a market. Bailouts are Band-Aids. We aren't even made whole off of this. That's money that should be going towards senior citizens. That's money that should be going for the Affordable Care Act. That's money that should just be going to regular tax cuts for normal Americans and not billionaires. What he is doing is destroying our markets. And when those markets disappear, we're not going to get them back. We need to have a new policy. We need to have an ag policy that works for farmers again. And we know what works. We have to be able to make a living doing this. The years that we do the best are when our products are in demand. And our products, overwhelmingly for the history of this country, are in demand when we have a strong export market. And we have to keep those markets alive. We have to do that. And this administration isn't doing that. People came to this country for opportunity. Opportunity equal land. And we're giving that up. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Part of the reason why the greatness of this nation is because we take care of people, and there's values of the family farm that need to be upheld. And it's good for America.
1 in every 4 rows of soybeans in every field in the entire United States of America has to go abroad. China is the largest importer of soybeans in the world. They import 61% of the world's market. Last year, we sent around 12 billion, I think $14 billion worth of soybeans the year before. For the first time in 20 years, China's bought 0 soybeans and 0 new crop corn out of this country.
Zero?
So we went from 12 billion to 0.
Where are they buying the soybeans?
Brazil. You see, we lost 42% of our market share in the first tariff war. In Trump's first tariff war, the Chinese went to buying their soybeans from Brazil. They invested billions of dollars in Brazilian infrastructure. They have moved into Africa, and they're going to commercially farm in Africa. Since we left with USAID, they moved their Belt and Road program into Africa. So we've pretty much lost the Chinese market share. If we got 100% of the soybean business, Katie, for every country in the world except for Brazil and Argentina, we would still only have half the soybean business that China is.
They decided to create this narrative about farming so you and I wouldn't go into farming, so there will be ready market for their people. And now that everybody is turning away, we've seen that their people are crying. So Africa, we cannot leave this fertile land and be importing things from other people. We need to make use of our land. All of us need food to survive. They succeeded in making our leaders to let us concentrate on crops that we do not consume, so that when we finish, we'll not save the money, give it to them to bring us what we consume when we have this beautiful land. So we, the people in Africa, must wake up and understand that farming is not a curse. Farming is a blessing. As long as we are all looking up to food, we should know that food is the most important thing. You can do away with everything, but you can never do away with food. And we can continue to have this beautiful land and still be importing food from people who do not have the land as fertile as ours. So it is a strategy to make sure we continue to depend on them. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore once said, he who feeds you controls you. So the more we continue to depend on them, the more they get the upper hand to control the African. We can never take any decisive decisions on our own, because the moment you do that, they will stop giving you what they are giving to you. So we need to understand the game that these people are playing on us, and for us all to rise up. This is information era, so we don't have to allow people to play on us. The land is there. Let's all try our little way to go into farming. We've seen their people crying because we have decided to say they should keep their things. So they need to understand that we are not depending on them. They also depend on other people for survival. Now they've cultivated this crop and nobody is buying it. So at the end of the day, who is suffering? So we have to understand that we are not depending on these people like the way they created the narrative. They depend solely on other people. So we need to rise up and fight for our own sovereignty. If we don't stop buying into their narrative, we'll continue to be children that these people will continue to regulate anyhow they deem fit. Africa, we can do it. And we must show the world that we are capable of managing our own affairs. We cannot continue to be fed by other people. And let us prove to the world that we are the best for our own selves and the world. Enough of the brainwashing and enough of us allowing ourselves to be controlled. And we need to know that there is no politician that will come and help us. Like the people are not tired of Donald Trump, and they think that if today was the time for them to vote, they will never give their votes to Donald Trump. But look at the beautiful things that Trump promised them. And when this crisis happened and they were expecting Trump to say something, he came and he wasn't saying anything that will please the farmers. He was still thinking about China. And now China is buying from other people and buying from Africa. So we need to understand the power that we all have if we fight for our own power. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. So that's the latest around the world and in the United States of America.